let me explain how this is all connected. So we have the two adapters. They should be plugged in. One of them is connected to the wire of the camera. That's the red plug. And the yellow plug would be connected to the camera and the DVR. Now, the HDMI cable would connect the DVR to the TV. Now we need to plug in the other adapter. This will turn the DVR on. And you can see there's this green light. And later we're gonna see a red light. The mouse is also connected. It's connected to the front. We also need to connect the DVR to the router using this cable, and we have to keep this cable. Turn the TV on. In my case, I had to select HDMI 1 and then just follow the steps. And if you look at the top left, you can see that the camera is working. Except that now you have to connect it to the app on the phone. Make sure this is checked. Also, those are checked. I'm not sure what this is, but I checked it and it worked. This is the QR code that you need to scan with your phone. Once you download the app, it will ask you to scan the code. Now I'm showing the app on the phone. And you see I had to scan this code. Enter the password, done, then save, and it will connect. You see, I have access to the camera on my phone. And now I will start the installation process, running all the wires. This one goes to DVR. Great. So I got the other two wires. I'll have maybe like 3 or maybe the 4 cameras will come out of this hole. We'll see. We can turn it like this if we unscrew this one here. And then we can decide, like maybe when I do install it, I'll see how to put that, if it's gonna be this way or this way, we'll see. Now, the only thing is I cannot turn it like that, so I need to unscrew this here. I haven't tried that, but that's my guess. Yeah, I can move it up and down, and then I can screw it again. But I guess I'll wait until it's in place, and then I can decide on that. So I'll just leave it for now. This is where the old camera is installed. I got it maybe 2 or 3 years ago from AliExpress actually. And now I'm installing the new camera here. One of them on this side, the other one is on this side. This way it will cover the backyard. So I have a view on this door here. And then the other one will cover this door here. Yeah, I guess before installing, I wanna see what exactly does it cover, just in case I wanna keep it here or put it up there. So the wires are now on the ground, and I'm using those to hold up. So I went up to wire the camera, and I saw something scary. Some sort of a nest, but nothing's moving. And I saw some, I think, wasps dead all around it. Strange, I haven't seen them before. So wasps. And I definitely not gonna put my hand inside now, but I need the wires. Ta-da! I hope, ta-da. I survived the wasps. Here I'm testing the quality of the camera, but then I'll come back to this later. Now I want to show you some of the features so you can check the resolution, change it, change the bitrate. For the audio, I don't think it's working. I still have to test it, but I tested it once and it did not work. So I don't think audio is included. And luck strikes again. Check this out. I'm trying to install the other camera, and there are wasp nests inside. Just great. Too many. I hope I'll survive this video. Now 2 cameras are installed. Next is the 3rd and 4th one. And now with the extension, it all goes in. And it doesn't really get to the other side of the wall. So I need some other extension, I guess. I have to go and visit the maestro and get this one. Now this one should work. Okay, this one should work now. I know if somebody tries to steal my tomatoes. Now I have the 4 sides of the house covered. Let's test the quality. The cameras are now installed. Let me tell you what I like about them and what I don't like. So let's start with what I do not like. So the fact that they are wired, this is not something I like, but then it wasn't too bad, you know. It took me like 3 days working 2 hours a day, you know, after work. So it wasn't too bad. But then again, you have to run too many wires. I have to dig, you know, so the wires would run underground. I had to make some holes in the walls and then have the wires pass through those. And then you have to have the DVR in a location where all the wires can get to it without adding any connections, because you'll have to buy additional wires. And there's special wires, I guess. But in my case, I didn't have this problem. I got 60 feet of wires with each camera, and this was more than enough for each of the cameras. so wired wasn't something great. But at the same time, if you get wireless cameras, you still have to connect them to the electricity, and in this case you have to buy additional electric wires and dig some holes again sometimes, you know, and depending how far the electric plug is from the cameras, you have to take that into consideration. So wired isn't a great idea sometimes. But then again, on the positive side, this was a great deal. I got 4 cameras and a DVR for $200. So this is not a deal that you can find every day. The quality is very good. Like you've seen, like I've recorded, instead of showing my car plates, I wrote down a couple of letters and numbers, and I show them, and then I had to walk, and I could still see the numbers that I wrote down. So if a car would park in my driveway, I would know. And so this is something good, you know, quality wise. Again, the deal includes 4 cameras and a DVR, and a DVR is 1 terabyte of data. And 1 terabyte, if you buy just the external hard drive of 1 terabyte, that's at least $100. In this case, I got this one with the 4 cameras for $200. So again, this is a great deal. And then if it's wireless camera, you have to have like a cloud, connect them to the cloud, and then record everything there, and you'll have to pay like a monthly subscription. I could do that with those wired cameras, but for now the DVR could be enough. Again, wired cameras I did not like. Quality and recording is something that I like about the cameras, and the good deal. Now there's one thing I'd like to add is, somebody, when I was reading the reviews, somebody wrote down that if he's away from home, he cannot see like on the app what's happening in his home, and this is wrong. Once you have this connected and the app installed, you can just see your house from anywhere. Now there's a catch, if I can say. So once you're installing the cameras, once you install the cameras and you want to connect it to the app, so the DVR has to be next to the router to do that, and DVR has to stay next to the router because they are not wirelessly connected. You have to keep the wire between them. So this is 1. 2, the first time you have to connect them, you have to get the TV and have it next to them. So I had to connect the TV to the DVR, and the DVR to the router, and using the HDMI cable. So the first time you have to do that, and then once you have all of those next to each other, you can just download the app and scan the QR code, I think, and then you're all set. But then again, like first time you have to have the TV next to them. So in my case, I had to get one of the TVs from the house, put it next to the router, because my router is not next to the TV. So I had to get them all together and put them next to each other, which it's not too bad, but I mean, it's not something that you'd have to do with other cameras like the wireless ones. But once you do that, you don't need to keep the TV over there. Now, if you've ever got any wireless cameras, you also have to do some work. You know, the camera has to be, at least the one I got, the camera has to be next to the router and next to the cell phone, like at least a couple of feet away, the first time you connect it. Otherwise, it will not work. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it useful. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.